Hello and welcome to Connect2Impact in Nashville, Tennessee. Joining us now with Cetera is LaMont McIntosh. LaMont, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
And it's going to be a busy conference for you. You're participating on a panel with the Cetera Black Advisor Symposium on paying it forward. Could you speak to us a little bit about the value of mentorships?
Well, first of all, I'd like to give Cetera a lot of credit for putting on a symposium like this and in this climate where people are looking for diversity, inclusion, and betterment and all that good stuff. But the value of mentorship is actually priceless. I mean, if it wasn't for mentorship, I wouldn't be an 8-year veteran in the financial services industry. And so the way I like to pay it forward, using your terminologies, is by looking for those young advisors, not necessarily having to be young in age, but young in the business, and helping them with some of the things that allow me to become a better advisor, to grow my practice. And so I actually actively look for that, whether that's via other people in the Cetera community, through all the different broker dealers that we have, or online and LinkedIn with people that aren't even with our Cetera community, but also in the financial services industry.
That's great. Any particular examples you'd like to share of those relationships that you've built?
Absolutely. One, most recently in particularly, I was in leadership. But at the time, this young lady who was with another broker dealer, I won't say her name for sake of getting her maybe into some hot water, but we actually still are communicating to this day, even though she didn't really have any interest in wanting to move her practice from that particular firm. And I always told her, just like I tell a lot of people, that I would try to attract for talent purposes to Cetera when I was in that leadership position, is that, hey, you have a friend in me, run things by me. Maybe you have a case, maybe there's a prospect, maybe there's a marketing strategy that you want to employ that you want to run by me. And she has really taken that on. And we still communicate today about certain strategies, about what her career looks like, what trajectory to take, whether that's leadership, production, building a team, joining a team, and all those different kind of practice development type ideas.
And what would you say to advisors who are considering making Cetera their home?
Oh man, I'll say this is the place to be. I think we're second to none when it comes to the independent broker space in the financial services realm. I think that Cetera does a phenomenal job of connectivity, right? We talk about Connect2Impact. There's a lot of theme around that, but in practical sense, Cetera does a wonderful job of making sure that all the different advisors, the different teams, the different resources are available to each and everybody who wants to better their practice. The theme around here is growth. And one of the reasons why I actually transitioned from leadership was I saw the potential of an advisor and what their book could look like and what their practice can look like. And I was like, hey, I don't want to miss out on that. I love leadership. I love training and development. But for the long term, for me and my family and for people that I want to impact, the mentees that I may want to bring on board, I think it's a phenomenal place to be an advisor. You have room to grow. You have the resources to be able to deepen those roots. And then obviously the tarmac is long.
Mm-hmm. Very long tarmac. And building on the theme of connectivity, so glad you mentioned that. How has Cetera and the relationships that you've built through Cetera, how have they been meaningful to you and your practice?
Well, they're invaluable. I mean, I've had a phenomenal support system here at Cetera, all the way from senior leadership, executive leadership, down to the branch level where we have other branch managers or regional directors. And again, I might be messing up their terminology of their titles, but key people that have actually helped me when it comes to developing my practice first and foremost, but also thinking about things from a career standpoint, right? Where do you ultimately want to go? The unique thing about financial services is that you can go so many different ways in how you want to run your practice or be in leadership or take that management track or things of that nature. So I've been able to get a lot of shared experiences from other people to get insight and then to make some informed decisions on how to develop my practice. First and foremost, one of the things is how to make connections, right? Making sure that you're reaching out to people. When people extend an invitation to build with them, to call upon them when needed, don't take that lightly. And some of my colleagues and peers and people who are more mature in this business than me, I take them up on those offers and I try to learn as much as I can. And some of those people will be here at Connect2Impact, and I can't wait to have a beverage with them or maybe some dinner and just talk about strategy, talk about objectives that I would like to implement into my practice and what's the best way to do it.
building off of that, and yes, a ton of connections being made here.
Sure.
Why take the time to travel? I know you drove 4 hours from Atlanta. Why
Right.
take the time out of your schedule to be here? How do you view the value of these events?
It's 100% valuable to me, and I think it's 100% valuable to anybody that attends. So anytime I have an opportunity to be in a room or be in a space where there's a lot of other people that have different perspective, walks of lives, coming from different cultural backgrounds, and obviously geographically, people do things a little bit differently. I mean, I'm in the South, and we have people from all over the country that are going to be attending this conference. And so I want to lean in and be able to take the opportunity to learn what's the best way to be the best advisor that I can be, and also be the best example. Being that this is a part of the DEIB, initiative, I think is important to show up. A lot of times people want to complain and talk about not having initiatives that will allow them to continue to grow and to have opportunity, but then they don't participate. So I don't want to be one of those people that are looking or clamoring for opportunity and for exposure and things of that nature, and then not participate. I think that would do it an injustice.
Well, it seems like everyone is walking the walk here.
Absolutely.
As well. I'm glad you bring up DEIB.
Yep.
Because I want to spend a little bit more time on that. How can diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging have a positive impact on, well, really any profession, but particularly this one?
Well, particularly this one, we'll start there, is that, exposure. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I come from a community where I never knew that there were financial advisors, let alone Black financial advisors. And so being present, being out to display, if you will, right, to other people of the same cultural ethnicity is important, because now what you see is what you think you can achieve, right? Or what you should be able to achieve. And so I think it's important for these types of initiatives because, one, it creates the exposure that we talk about, but two, it also gives an ear to some of the issues and challenges and even some of the great insight and ideas that come from a community that hasn't had a long track record in this building, or a lot of proportionate impact, if you will, as far as numbers, right? We know that in our industry in general that it's shrinking. There's a lot of older advisors, and there's a very, very small drip of young advisors entering into the business, and that's an issue in general. And so if we spread that out and have that exposure that we speak of across different communities culturally, I think that will help drive people to this wonderful industry that we work in, which is financial services.
And so many different communities and backgrounds out there. And you have kind of a unique background yourself, playing professional basketball in Europe. How has that impacted you in your career today?
Well, first of all, it was fantastic to be able to travel the world for a talent that God blessed me with, which was to play basketball. I did it for a decade. I played 10 years overseas. And what it did was allow me to do similar what we're trying to do right now, which is blend different cultures together. So I was able to be exposed to different things that I never thought that I would be exposed to. And what it allowed me to do is to adopt and to adapt to different circumstances that come my way, and to be able to appreciate the differences amongst different people. And so for me, it's definitely helped at the coffee table or the dining room table when you're talking to clients, especially for people who are well-traveled. It allows me an opportunity to connect, as we talked about before. In our business, this is a people business, and it's about relationships. And one of the best ways that you create relationships and that you deepen relationships is by commonalities. And so it allowed me to be able to touch on different little spaces in the world and bring that back to human interaction.
And after going through all that growth and adaptation yourself, you're helping others do the same in the financial services industry. Absolutely.
It's something that, again, we say it's kind of cliche, but pay it forward is exactly what it is. I mean, we teach people based on what we learned. And so, what I've been able to learn, it oozes out of me. I don't even have to stand on a soapbox in order to preach about it. I mean, literally what I've taken from different cultures and experiences, through travel and playing basketball, being teammates with people from different nationalities and backgrounds, it allows me to work better with people, to appreciate those differences. And to be honest, it helps me to take a little bit from them all and to be successful in what I'm doing.
Well, LaMont, so great to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This has been a pleasure.
And thank you to everyone watching. Once again, that was LaMont McIntosh with Cetera. I'm Jenna Dagenhart with Asset TV.